All right, guys, Dorante Parks here, and today I want to show you behind the scenes of my 6-in-1 total business system. And this is the back office here of what it actually consists of. This is a configuration that I've created for my joint venture partners, where everybody has the tools to actually do the deals as they learn the skills. So this is our basic website here for basically, it's like a hub for basically real estate loans. This site here is our investor buyer site. And we use this site in our joint ventures when we begin to make offers on income properties. All right. This site here, Project Financing USA, this is our large project funding site for deals that are 50 million and above. They're typically infrastructure deals and large manufacturing and community development projects. They start at $50 million. This site is for that. And this site is our off-market property finder, which works with the course that's in the back office, the local property flip. This website is a funnel for actually flipping properties. This JV site actually should be called RTC. It's the residential to commercial funnel, where we actually work with residential investors and joint venture with them into their first commercial deal. And that's structured where we're going to help an individual investor. This isn't for beginners. These are the ugly house investors who may have 6, 7, 8 houses. They know the game. And what we do is we take them to another level and assist them in acquiring multifamily properties on some pretty unique terms. We're going to negotiate the terms. We're going to secure the financing. We're going to deal with the realtors. We're going to make the offers. And we're going to tell them what types of properties to locate and to look for. And in exchange for that service, what we are asking for is a 10% equity position in the property. Not 10% ownership, 10% equity. And what we do is we take that equity position and we convert it to secured debt against the property, like basically a second mortgage. So what does that really look like? Let's take a deal where it's $1 million property, and I'm going to get you 80% financing, which means the investor has to have 20% to go in it. And in exchange for that, as a 10% equity partner, that's $100,000 that I'm entitled to based on the purchase price. And what I do with that is I convert that equity into debt, and I secure it against the property on a 10-year schedule at 0 interest, fully assumable. That note we create is fully assumable, but it has prepayment penalties in it, and it's on a 10-year term at 0 interest. And we basically take the $100,000 and divide it by 120 payments. And that's our monthly income for 5, 10 years off that paper. It's pulling equity out of the air. That's what this JV site's about, residential to commercial. And our last site, and we actually have 2 of these, 2 different types, is our business financing site. And that's for basically doing business loans and SBA loans also. All right, so here you have the 6 sites here, and this is what they look like. Now, collectively, to have these sites redone from the core would cost me $3,000 per site. So what we're looking at here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's $18,000 in actual sites, and it doesn't even include the software. All right. But my JV partners in the deals we structure, I get paid at the closing. So our objective is to get there. That's my job, is to get them to the closing, and that's how I do this. Now, this is what the back office looks like. All right. Now, here is what that's the back office of the website, but here is the actual back office of our training portal here. And what we do here is we follow the yellow brick road. We start here, we go through these steps and processes, and then we deep dive into the training here. Now, the rationale and the logic here is that we do this first here. There are tutorials, and what we do here is we connect with our lender's portal directly. And then, and here are the steps to how that's actually done is right here. And we have to execute these documents. So there's a little work to do. All right. And we do this coming out the gate first. Then next, we run ads. Okay. We pick the ad after we have the conversation with the lender. He'll tell you what to do. You'll know which programs certain lenders like to do. And then we come here and we run ads, whether they're ads on Facebook, Google ads, Instagram, Craigslist, or free ads, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever. We begin to run our ads. Then, after that's done, we put that in place. Then the JV partners begin to learn the processes. And the logic here, and this is actually a tool of the virtual office of all of the tools and the resources that are built in here. For example, all of this, how to use this, what it's for, and we get into this, how to actually navigate this, but there's a process. So we follow the steps, do this first, then we come here and learn about financing, and then here, this course is about selling, how to sell your services. And this is how to write scripts if you need to. And this is that course, the local property flip course that works with that website. All right, that I shared with you. Now, next we have the software collection here. And these are actual services. And we have sales pages on the website on how to actually sell these services. In fact, we even have ads where you can simply run the ads for your services just as you ran the ads up here for the business financing. All right. And then here we have a lender marketplace where you can work and pick and choose lenders and niches that you want to work in. If you find a project that's outside of what your lender does, then you have here a lender marketplace for real estate lenders, and you have a lending marketplace for business lenders. So when I say this is a total business system, it's really that. It's complete. It's a business that you actually grow into. So you learn the skills to do the deals. You hear me say this a lot. Deals are made. They aren't found. All right. In this training, with these resources, you'll have the ability to make deals. You'll have that skill set. And once you get it, it's yours forever. All right. And then here we have niche lenders, asset-based lenders, different types of funders, and research resources. This is very important when you're doing a local property flip, because you're going to always find your best properties and your best deals from the federal government. You just have to know that, but that's where they are. All right. And then you use the title companies to set your closing up. Escrow providers are here, and a process on vetting and due diligence tools. How do you vet your lenders, and where to go, what to do, what to say, what not to say, and how to do it. All of that is included here in this training. All right. And then, of course, you have marketing resources, press releases, pre-written generic ads, social media platform marketing, real estate forums for harvesting those cash buyers in that residential real estate market. And then you have a list of the national REIA groups here, all of them, and free classified listing services, And then here's some marketing tools, the auto responder tools. And then here are our other advanced training modules. This long broken basics here, 6-figure strategies and formulas, identifying arbitrage opportunities. This is awesome when you understand what it is. And this is making money, making offers. That's what we use the investor site for. It's a strategy for making full price offers on commercial properties, income properties, not fixer-uppers, with the twist being the terms that we actually structure in there. And up here are basic support categories and things here. And here's some apps in terms of AI apps you want to have access to if you want to learn about or use AI. We have those here, buried in the back here. And then we have here a web academy for web school, WordPress, how to navigate your websites and build pages. There's a text MS services if you want to integrate that into your business. And here are JV strategies, large project funding deals. The lenders and the registration process is there. And here are my large project funding lenders in here. Joint venture partners here. If you want to be a JV partner, you jump in here. The difference in the JV partners versus the apprenticeships is that I work directly with the apprentices one-on-one. You usually keep it to like 5 apprentices, but even with the JV partners, we like for them to have the total package so we can do all of this stuff. All right. Now, that's what's here. And what I want to show you is over here. This is the one document that creates all of the tools and letters we need to do all of the things that I've talked about. But there's a lot in here in this back office. Now, remember, you have 6 websites. All of them have the back office built into it, okay? And then this is the front end of the website. Now, this is, let's refresh this. This is a lead gen, all right? Now, this site also comes with a cookie consent, and that's required by law. You want to have that, all right? So on some of the packages, we include it. On others, they aren't. It's a pricey deal with these things, and it's not, you want to have one. It's not worth not having it, okay? It's kind of like driving without a license. You say, well, nobody knows but me. Yeah, but if he get caught, then the drama begins, all right? But that's what this is. And depending on how we package and position this may be included and it may not on some. This is a lead generator that comes with the sites. And what it does is a bonus we add for list building, and you create a basic report. You exchange the report for names and email addresses, and you take your prospects through a funnel to find out what it is they like, don't like, want to do, don't want to do. All right. And remember, this is just the portal site, just the entry point to all the other sites. Now, what we have here are our loan programs. We have real estate programs, a business financing program, and we have another business financing program. These are the loan programs. All right. These are separate websites. In other words, this business financing is a separate website. It's one of the sites I showed you on the back end. All right. And this is the second business financing site. Those things are going to be a little annoying, but I wanted them to run so I could show you. This is the second business financing site, and it's a completely different lender. They do something completely different from the other lender. So you got 2 business lenders, and each one does a niche thing. Okay. Let me just accept this and get this out the way. All right. And I'm going to close this. Now, here are your services. Now, we have ads for each of these services. This free consulting is a place you begin to establish a rapport and a dialogue with your customers. All right. So you just click the button in here and they schedule a time to talk with you. And here's the rationale behind this. The rationale behind this is that the person is going to tell you what it is they want to talk about. So when you meet, you show up and you have the answers to these questions. It's kind of like an open book test. And what you will do is, because of what you learned in the straight line training course, let's see here, show you that. See, everything here works together, because what you do is, if you follow the process, this course here teaches you how to sell yourself, your services, and how to price them and overcome all objections. It's about persuasion. You want to know this, because what we do, we take what we learn from this course and we apply it on this call. All right. Now, on these calls, you have the ability to listen. It's mostly listening and asking questions, not making statements. And you can convert that person into a client based on what solutions you provide them to their problem. So anybody will pay you pretty much for a solution, but nobody's going to pay you for a problem. Got it? So we listen here, and they're going to tell us what their problem is. And all we do is show up on the call with a potential solution or several solutions. And that's what this is, these services here are about. This loan packaging is a service that we use, and you have here a sales page also for selling this service. Now, we have ads that we can run also to promote this service. All right. And what do you charge for this? Well, I've sold loan packages for as much as $3,500. Okay. So, in as little as $300, but it's a service. And the neat thing about this is, when you're selling lender programs, you're selling the lender stuff, and you get paid a fee for that. But when you're selling these services, that's yours. And most importantly, the logic behind it is that the first closing in this structure is with you, not the lender. You are the first payout. So you're basically paid to go to work versus working to pay. All right. To get paid. So you pay, you're paid, then you go to work. And then you have a deal analysis site here. And it has a sales page also. And here you're going to get second opinions and a fresh set of eyes on a deal or a proposal or a contract or LOI. And it's a free service you offer, and it has some potential. If nothing else, you're going to learn what's being done and what other people are doing. And I want you to notice that on all of these pages, you have to call for information. Why? If you put $5,000, $3,000 as a purchase price for the service, because these are digital services, very few people will even look at it. But the call for pricing, it initiates an action, and the person calls you and they want to know about the pricing. You can tell them it's $3,000. And they say, well, that's a little too rich for my blood. And you learn from the convergent selling what to do and how to handle that. Okay. And I've earned $85,000, $80,000 one year, $70,000 the second year, selling these services, particularly, but specifically my loan packaging service. All right. So that's what you have here with the deal analysis. Now, you also have another service. It's the LOI creation, and you have a sales page associated with that also. And here it explains why you should use an LOI rather than a actual contract. Okay. But we run ads to drive people here to do the one thing, what? To make the call. And on the call, you do the conversion. That's how it works. Okay. That's what these services are for. Now, so here you have, remember, you have the loan programs. Now over here, you have the free consulting, the loan packaging service, that's service 1, deal analysis, that's service 2, LOI creation, that's service 3. Those are services that you can advertise and market in addition to the programs, whether you're doing the business programs or the loan program, the real estate programs, or whether you're doing both of them. Now, here's where it gets very interesting, and this is the basic site configuration. This was built for the JV partners, all right? This is a website for buying properties. This is the off-market property site for flipping properties. This is a joint venture site for working with the residential investors going from residential to commercial. This is a large project funding site. It's for projects that are $50 million and up. And then we have an apprenticeship program here. All right. So let's take a look at these quickly. So here's the We Buy Income Property site. It's called an investor site. And it has on it the acquisition guidelines, the registration, and the process. It's pretty streamlined and straightforward. What we buy, where we buy, and how we buy, and what you can expect. Pretty straightforward. Why work with us? And here you can work with brokers if you choose to. That's entirely up to you. And here we explain the process, the types of properties we do like, properties we don't like, the locations, the where, the requirements, the required documents, the process, submission process, and what to expect. And our agent conflict avoidance policy, that occurred because we had 3 realtors who submit the same property to us. So who do you make the offer to? You know, that was the issue. It happened several times. So I put this together to fix that. So it explains how we actually work with them. But this is the property buyer site. That's included. We saw it initially on the back end, and now you'll see the front end of it. And then we have here. Now I can cut that off, but I'm not. That was the We Buy Property site. This is the off-market property buyer site. This is for building a list of buyers and flipping property. It has a funnel built into it. So you can actually drive ads directly to this page. And as you notice, there are no external links. The only thing they can do is submit. Now, full disclosure, in order to use this effectively, you're going to need an autoresponder service to plug in here. You can use MailChimp or Aweber or some service to capture those emails, because here those names and emails are very, very important. All right. So that's the off-market property site. And then what we also have in here, aside from the off-market properties, the other site we have, got a couple of more, is we have the joint venture site, just a residential to commercial. All right. And it's listed here as a joint venture site, but what it really is a RTC, residential to commercial. And we create this site and put the process and all of the details on here with basically a video. All right. So that is included in this package. And then we have the large project funding. Now this is for projects that are 50 million and above. It's a kind of different animal because on these projects, you can get up to 100% financing, but there are certain things that actually have to be in place. You know, so if they start at $50 million, and this is where you would go and deal with these new development projects, projects 50 million and up, you pick it up a point 1 point on a $50 million project. Do some math. On a $400 million project, on a $400 million project, you make 1%, that's $4 million. All right. So you can make a lot of capital. The only challenge is, this is like shopping for Moby Dick. It's a slow play, which means you got to go out into the deep water. You need a big boat and a lot of time and a lot of food and a lot of resources. The other business loans, those are fast. They're just fast. In some cases, some of your business loans can actually close the same day, depending on the situation. All right. And then we have here, you have an apprenticeship program. That's if you choose to go there. You have apprentices, people can come here and you can vet them and get them to take this little survey here and tell you about themselves and set up a call and see if the person fits your apprentice program. Now, what will they actually do? You're going to teach them to do whichever of these programs or services you want to do. You can do it with them. You can't do it for them. You can do it with them, which is what I like to do, and develop and train them. And in that process, you can create some long-term, lifelong friendships and partnerships, and you get to help people to go and grow. All right. Now, coming soon, here's what can be added to this package. All right. You got courses for training. All right. You got video courses, and all you have to do is connect over here in the back office. You have a membership script that's already here, and all you have to do is connect. And what are you going to do? We give you the videos in here. We put our videos in here, and you sell it or market it as a course. So when I say it's a business you go into, I'm serious about that. All right. And we have the Financing Academy. This becomes a membership site that you can actually run. And I like for everybody to win. And basically everything that I have, my partners have access to also. And that's the other thing that's involved here. And lastly, let's see, make sure we got everything covered here, is coming soon, is the broker registration. If you want to run a broker network, you can actually do that. So you say, well, what does it look like? Well, let's think about this. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok are all membership sites, okay? And they start off with a free membership, but to get additional features, you have to upgrade from free to fee. So let's take that model and apply it here. I'm a broker. I come here, I sign up, and you let me submit multifamily deals to you from $1 to $3 million. And that's the agreement, and it's free. And you basically would joint venture with me on it. Real simple, right? But then I come to you with a $10 million project, and I have a $15 million office building and a $10 million apartment building. My free membership only gives me apartments up to $3 million, but I have a $5 million apartment complex. Will you accept it? You will not let me submit that project to you until I upgrade my membership. Now, do you have to do this? It's entirely up to you if you want to monetize your processes or not. It's entirely up to you. You can do it for free if you're focused. See, if you are focused only on the deals, you're going to take the $5 million deal. All right. But if you're focused on the process and profiting from the processes, you're going to tell me that I can't submit it, that in order to submit it, I'm going to have to upgrade my membership from free to fee. And it can be a one-time fee, $175, $50, $300, $400, $475, depending on you. You write your own ticket here. That's the point. So how do you learn that? You learn that from the straight line course. You go there and learn that. That's why you want to know about persuasion and how to do that. So if you want to run a broker network, you can actually do that here. All right. So there we have it. And of course, we have, see, what you have here, without us saying it, you actually have a training center where you can sell videos. They can be pay-per-view, or they can be based on a membership site, all right? Membership model. Now, the thing about that is that everything you need to set up your membership site, if you go there, is here, okay? So what I'm doing is I want to share this with you guys, current customers first, and I'm making this available because I want 5, I probably can do 10 joint venture partners, and part of the joint venture is that you actually get this setup here, the 6-in-1 with all the sites, plus the back office, all the resources that are contained within it. But something that I mentioned, something I didn't mention, that you also get, that's not obvious, you get to work with me on these deals. In other words, by having these tools and resources, it's easier to do joint ventures and to work with a person because you have all the tools essential for doing it. So what is the cost for this? Hadn't set a cost. You have to look at the page that this actual video is on. I want to take the time to actually show this to you. And those of you who are interested, you know how to reach me because I'm only making a few of these available. But let me make another point here. On the flip side, let's remove myself from the equation. I would offer just the website without me at basically $2,500 to $3,000 per site. And that doesn't include me. All right. That's the website. It will be one site and a back office. That's it. That's what I would offer. But what I'm offering here is because I want some partners to work with. I'm giving all the tools and the tools and the resources. The 5-site setup, you're getting that. And I'm going to show you how to use it and work with you because we're going to go through here and do this stuff site by site by site. And it's a 12-month dance. Probably can get it done in 6 months, but we're going to do it. And most importantly, I get to hold you and you get to hold me accountable. So if I were to put a price tag on it, let's say this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 grand. I would finance a portion of it. I would say half down and you pay me the other half at the closing. Actually, I could charge $30,000. All right. You pay 5 down and $25,000 at the closing, at our first closing, because I get you to the closing. No, I don't have no doubt about that. All you gotta do is follow my plan. I get you to the closing. And if I don't get you to the closing, you don't pay me. And that's a pretty smooth deal. And you will still have an actual website. Even if you don't make it to the closing, you'll know what to do and how to do it. Now, whether or not you do it is another story. But with my JV partners, it's different because I won't get paid the balance of my profits from doing a deal with you unless I get you there. And the other thing that comes with that is that I hold you accountable. I meet with you often. We talk a lot and we go over stuff. Why? You have things to do and implement and execute in a time frame to actually get it done in. All right. So pretty cool. So tell me what you think about the offer, about the package, about the website, about the configuration, about the setup. And depending on that, because the people who are watching this and who this is for, you have a back office. You have this you have this. You have this now. So to find out, for me, what I like for you to do is tell me what you think. What you think about the sites, about the setup, about the program, about the proposal, and what would you price it at? Because remember, I told you what it would cost to have the sites built. But what that doesn't include, it doesn't include the licensing of these software programs. All right. This program's $1,800. All right. The website licensing we got about $5,000 in actual licensing of the softwares that are running on this website. All right. So it doesn't include that. And for me, if you're the person who can do this and you're disciplined and focused and committed, and if you're real with your stuff, you don't have to pay me, take the program, then upsell you to the software, then upsell you to the plugins, then upsell you to the site 1, then upsell you to site 2, then upsell you to a coaching program. It's in that. If you see the value and opportunity, and because you're the first to see this, you have the tools to do this. It's just understanding how to do it and being held accountable is what is different here. And I'm doing this only with probably 10 people max. That's really stretching it. But the 10 people have to be the right people. It's not something you can just buy into. You have to want this and be willing to do the work. All right. So that's how this works. And hopefully, I don't know what the final price on this will be. Guys, I'm not doing it about that. I want to know what you think about the configuration, the setup, the site, the program, the structure. And if you give me your information, you never know what I do. You may end up with one for free just because you did. But regardless, thanks for taking the time to watch this. And hopefully we'll see you on the inside. And if you see the value and you want this, and you want to talk about it or work some terms out or time out, then you know how to reach me. Just reach out to me. All right. So thanks for your time and have a blessed day in Jesus' name.